Hello, my fellow chipmunks. This is Chipmunk Speaks TM, aka Allura Gonzalez, and welcome back to the DSM5 and its Wacky Disorders series, Part 2. Why should you listen to me? I'm glad you asked. I have a bachelor's in psychology, and I am getting my master's in social work. Alrighty, now that we've gotten past that introduction, let's begin. Have you ever felt like things were not the same as they were physically? As in, hey, that apple is as big as my van kind of change. Well, aren't you in luck? This wacky disorder from the DSM5 is just that. It is called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. AWS is also known as Todd syndrome. That's because it was first identified in the 1950s by Dr. John Todd, a British psychiatrist, describes a set of symptoms with alteration of body image. An alteration of visual perception is found in that way that the size of body parts or sizes of external objects are perceived incorrectly. The most common perceptions are at night. AWS affects the way people perceive the world around them and can distort how they experience their own bodies and the space it occupies. These can include distortions in vision as well as time. Imagine seeing people's faces change into dragon-like faces all your life. This symptom is only one of the 40 types of visual distortions characteristic of Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Some patients also describe seeing different body parts added to the people in front of them, such as the shortened arm attached to the face of that person sitting in front of them. Other symptoms include seeing people or objects moving in slow motion or moving unnaturally fast or not at all. Their hearing can also be affected. Sufferers can also hear loved ones speaking oddly slow or unnaturally fast, and they report seeing objects or their own body parts shrinking or swelling in front of their eyes, creating the sensation that they are themselves changing size. According to a 2014 case study, brain tumors may cause temporary AIWS. Head trauma may also be a possible cause. Brain imaging is also offering some insights too. These suggest that Alice in Wonderland syndrome may be caused by a dysfunction of a region of the brain called the temporoparietal occipital junction, where visual and spatial information are combined with signals about touch, body position, and pain. Most people grow out of the distorted perceptions as they age, but it's still possible to experience this in adulthood. A famous person who might have had AWS was Katie Kollwitz, a 20th century German artist who grew to fame for her socio-political impressions of Germany during World Wars I and II. In her diary, Kollwitz self-described symptoms of Alice in Wonderland syndrome during her childhood. AWS is most frequently due to Epstein-Barr virus infections in children, but in adults, the most common cause is migraine, occurring in approximately 15% of migraineurs. The most typical distortions are visual, about 75%, which include micropsia, objects appearing smaller than they are, macropsia, appearing larger, teleopsia, appearing farther, and pelopsia, appearing closer. Somesthetic distortions are the second most common manifestation, 10%, and include macrosomatognosia, the body feeling bigger than it actually is, and microsomatognosia, feeling smaller than one is. And frequently, some describe altered time perceptions, time moving too slowly or quickly, auditory distortions involving pitch, tone, and volume, or hearing voices or music, and extrapersonal misperceptions, derealization, depersonalization, out of body experiences. Alice in Wonderland syndrome is so rare that many experts may never encounter it in their career, says article person Chatterjee. But although experts agree that it's rare, the overall prevalence isn't known. To date, no epidemiological studies have been done that would show how common AIWS is in the population. Not to scare anyone off, but if you have AIWS, you can expect changes in how you perceive your body, the world around you, or both. These changes may be disturbing or even scary the first time they happen. However, this condition isn't usually dangerous on its own. While AIWS isn't usually dangerous, you shouldn't ignore the symptoms. Wow. Some thoughts on AIWS would be I will never look at Alice in Wonderland movie ever the same. But other than that, I hope that everyone had a good time in this video. Please like and subscribe and comment for the next DSM5 wacky disorder video. Have a good afternoon, evening, and good morning. Toodaloo.